So in March, I read 6 books and it was such a good reading month, as in terms of quantity for me and the quality. Oh, I actually loved every single one of these books. All of them great reads, and I am here today, sorry, I've got a cold, but I am here today. Why is that not coming out right? Today. To persuade you to read one of these books. Just, you gotta do it. You have to come away from this. I will feel good if you come away from this video and you pick up one of these books, because I love them and I feel like you should read them too. So I'm just gonna get right into the video. Apologies, I have got a cold, so I sound bunged up and my words are not gonna come out properly, but we must still grind, so here we go. So the first book I'm going to be speaking about today is King of Wrath by Anna Kuang, and this is the first book in the King of Sin series, I'm pretty sure this is called. Yeah, King of Sin series. There's 3 books out so far. The 4th one's coming out, I believe, in April. I think this month, actually. If not this month, soon. Each book can be read as a standalone, but they're all in the world of these rich billionaires in New York City. So, sorry, I'm ill and I'm feeling a bit delulu, so this is probably going to be a wacky video. This book is set in New York and it follows Dante, who is a billionaire CEO of his family company, and he's a really grumpy character. He doesn't really have many friends. He doesn't really care about appeasing people, but he is like the eligible bachelorette. Like he's in his late 30s. All the women want him, but he's like, no, he's not interested in that. He's business, business, business. Now, Vivian, on the other hand, she is also part of a wealthy family, but not a billionaire family. And her family really had to work to get where they are today. Like they've got money and they're well known, but her parents really, really care about their image because they did come from nothing and they don't want to lose what they've got. And even though Vivian is a successful events planner, she has her own money, she stands on her own 2 feet, she will do whatever her family tell her to do. And that is how there comes to be an arranged marriage between Dante and Vivian, because her father set this marriage up, but you instantly know that Dante, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, isn't too happy about it. Vivian's like, well, I'm going to do what my family wants me to do, and it's about them and the drama that unfolds in their kind of enemies. More like unknown enemies, because she's like, why do you hate me? And he's like, I do hate you and your family, kind of thing. And she's a bit like, well, I'm doing this because my family want me to and you agreed to it, so what's the issue? Yeah, how do I persuade you? Are you someone that is a weakling for nicknames? Because this man has 2 nicknames for her. I'm not going to tell you what they are because it's great finding out. Actually, I'll tell you one of them, Sweetheart, which is very generic. It's in a lot of these romance billionaire books. And actually, I swear Sweetheart is in Love Redesigned. Like, that's the nickname in there, and that made me ick. Like, the way their character said it, I was like, ew. But Dante, I was like, call me that any day of the week. And then his other one, I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation, but it's something in Italian and it's really, really cute. So he does it right from the beginning as well, so it's so good. Do you like possessive, jealous men? Do you like a strong female who doesn't take shit? Well, she does from her family, but not from him. This is for you. Do you want an Italian man serenading you? Well, listen to the freaking audiobook, because this was the first audiobook that I've ever listened to when it had a male and a female characters to play the parts, and oh my god, it makes the biggest difference ever. And now I'm really considering listening to her other books by audiobook, but I read like 80% of this, and then I was on a dog walk and I just wanted to listen to the rest of it because I couldn't put the book down, so I just continued it by listening to the audiobook. And I then regretted not listening to it all by audiobook because it was so good. It's spicy. I mean, it's got a good spice in it, but it's not like the whole plot is spice. There's a nice build up in there. What would I rate it spice-wise? It's not the spiciest book I've ever read, but the spicy scenes are saucy. That's the best I can say. And if anyone has read this, the limo scene, my feminism went out the window. I was like, take it. But so all in all, I gave this a 3.5 because even though it was a really good read, like it was good and I lapped it up, I loved it, but it wasn't mind-blowing. I mean, come on, I don't know what a billionaire romance would have to be to make it a 4 or a 5, like literally not my socks off probably. So it wasn't like changing my world, but it gave me what I wanted. I freaking love them. Oh, there's even some like rage revenge in there, which was such a good scene. I didn't expect it to take that turn, and I was like, woo. It was good. There were some surprises in there. You will love this book if you like billionaire romance, possessive men, dirty talk, crazy spending. I mean, I don't like billionaires in real life, but in a book, a fictional billionaire man, the way he spends his money and lets her spend his money, just read it. The next book is, and probably actually this is my favourite book of the month, The Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. Lord, I just read this. You don't even need to know anything more than that, but I will tell you, but you should just read it because this is a fire book. If you like romantasy, if you like morally grey, badass FMC that look like they can kill you and she will kill you, this book. If you like a grumpy god man who is fit, grumpy, I've already said grumpy, needs taken care of, is going through it, but then he will fight the world for you and destroy worlds for you, this book is for you. So this book follows Dianna, who is a monster, and she used to be human, but then her sister was dying and she got changed into this immortal monster being to save her sister's life. And this guy that she made the bargaining ship with is called Caden, and he is a baddie, a big baddie, and he is plans to mess up the world basically. And she's stuck doing his bidding, killing whoever he wants killed, capturing people, you name what he wants, she would do it, all to protect her sister Gabby. That's the only person she cares about, and she's kind of fighting to be more mortal and keep her human self there, but then she is a monster inside. Like, she can do some crazy things. She's got firepower. She can change into anything. So like a big dragon, she can morph herself into another human, like, so she can change her body. She is crazy powerful and she will kill anyone viciously. It's great. And then there is Liam. Fan art of Liam. I am loving. Anywho, Liam is a god who his whole world got destroyed, and he's known as the world ender because he's so powerful and he's got weapons that can end worlds basically. And he is going through it because his world died thousands and thousands of years ago, and he sent his people as refugees onto the planet that Dianna lives on. And he doesn't speak to anyone, he lives on his own, but there becomes a situation where he needs to come back to Earth. Let's call it Earth, but I don't think it's called Earth, it's called, I don't even know how I'm going to explain this, okay? Unana? And there's a situation where he needs to come back to there, and these two end up intertwined basically and in a situationship where they have to work together, and it's about that throughout the book and them solving this big issue to save like the world becoming overrun by monsters. Have I described that okay? Probably not. It's got dual point of views, same as King of Wrath. I forgot to mention that actually, but yeah, so it's from both of their perspectives. This is true enemies to lovers in the fact that they are really enemies, like real enemies. You know, in these enemies to lovers books, you get them saying, oh yeah, I don't like you, but there's not actually a real valid reason why they hate each other. These people hate each other because Liam used to kill Diana's kind. She's called like an Igmorthian or something. That's what she got changed into, from human to Igmorthian. And Liam literally used to massacre her kind, and her kind also used to kill Liam's friends and gods. So each of them have had really bad pasts. So they are real enemies. Like when they see each other, they're like, they want to kill each other, and they don't feel anything for each other other than pure hatred and rage. But I will say, it's not that slow burnery. I really thought, because I know there's a second book and the third book's coming out in May, I thought this was going to be a real slow burn, and they weren't even going to kiss in this book. And that's kind of what I wanted. I really wanted the amped up tension. But no, that does not happen. And yes, they do get friendly quite quickly, in my opinion. But the enemies bit is great. The friends bit is great. The lovery aspect of the book is really good as well. Some bits will really shock you. But how this is amazing, because Dianna is a badass. I love her. Like, I'm obsessed with her. What I love the most is she really will kill for her sister. Like, she will kill and do anything. So she's very unpredictable in that way. Like, you think a situation's going to go one way, but she's like, hell to the no, and it will go a completely different way. And I really like that. I love it when the man doesn't always have to rescue the woman, and she is capable of doing it herself. And you get so many scenes in this book where Dianna is just next level. I don't even know how to describe her, because she's more than a badass. She's a lethal, deadly person who can look after herself and deal with crazy situations. And it's refreshing to get that, and it's a female character and not a guy. And it's refreshing to get that, and the male character realizes it instead of trying to change her or be better than her. Like, Liam is like, she can handle herself, and I only need to step in if I need to step in. And oh my God, the comedy in this book is top tier. It has such good banter between the two characters, but then also to secondary characters as well. I was pissing myself throughout most of this book. If that's what you like too, that is Liam and Dianna. Don't get me wrong, there are some corny lines in there. I'm not gonna lie, there is corniness, but I can deal with some corniness when the rest of the story is amazing, and the plot and the world building, etc. Oh my God, and I forgot to mention another thing. I know most of this video is gonna be talking about this book now, but there's loads of different species in this world. So they've got vampires, they've got werewolves, they've got witches, they have these things that look like smoke, but they're actual beings. What were they called again? I can't even remember, but they're scary. They're really scary. But there's loads of different species in this book, and that made the book more interesting to me. Like, I love that aspect of it, and how all of these monsters work together or try to live amongst each other, and how that impacts the gods. It is amazing. The second book's already out, third book coming out in May. So you can catch up, you can be with me and be waiting for that release, because I'm going to be smashing that book out in April. Hope I've persuaded you. Quickly rating this one, I gave this a 4 out of 5. I think I gave it a 3.5, 4 out of 5, or did I give it 4.5? I'm gonna have to have a look now. Storygraph. I'm feeling crazy today. Storygraph. Oh, okay. I take that back. I gave this a 4.5, and that's why I didn't give it a 5, because I was expecting this to be a real slow burn, and it wasn't. That's my fault for thinking that and wanting that out of this book, but that's what happened. And so it wasn't a 5 out of 5, because when they got extra friendly, I was a bit like, no, hold it out till the next book. But anyway, you will see what happens when you read it, because you will read this. Okay, so the next book is Two Dark Reigns, and this is the third book in the... What is it called again? Three Dark Crowns. Three Dark Crowns series by Kendara Blake. And this is, for me, there's another book. There's one more book. This is the best book of the series for me so far. Now, I know I hate when I read reviews and I watch reviews and they say, you got to push through the first 2 books, or you got to push through the first one, and then it's really good. But I'm telling you this because this book made me fall in love with the series again. The first book was a bit of a meh. It frustrated me. The men I wanted to kill, they were so freaking annoying. The second book was okay. It was better than the first book. But again, there were some annoying bits in it. Now, this book was great. This book is what I wanted from the first book. Was I keen on the ending? I was a bit like, what the hell? To one of the sisters. Anyway, I haven't explained the book, so let's explain the book first. I will only explain the first book, because otherwise it's going to be freaking spoilers. But this series follows 3 sisters, triplets actually, and they're all born with different powers. So there's the poisoners, there's the elementals, there's the naturalists, and only one of them is able to survive after their 16th birthday and actually be queen. So they were separated at 5 years old, and they live on this island called Fenburn, and all their whole life they've been pitted against each other, taught how to kill each other, and on their 16th birthday they have to do what they gotta do. And the first book is about the lead up to their 16th birthday. The second book is during their 16th year of life, and this book is basically the year after that, or the aftermath of the second book. There's 3 point of views. It follows all 3 sisters, and they all have their own little situationships going on. There's romance in each of them. There's a bit of a love triangle going on. The magic, like the world in general, is quite cool. I love the magic aspect of it. There's some really good friendships going on, but you will get so pissed at some of these characters. You want to throw the book out the window. Honestly, one of the things that annoys me the most has to do with one of the sisters and their love interest. And it's so annoying. If you've read the first book, please comment below, because then I can share with you what I'm talking about, because I love to rage about it because it really, really does annoy me. However, this book is really good. It's got a lot more battling in it. There's a lot more strategy in it. It is a fantasy book. There's not I wouldn't say it's a romantasy, because it is mainly just based on fantasy, sister rivalry, the chosen one prophecy kind of thing. And a lot more scheming in. It had moments where it did shock me, and I was so much more gripped in this book than the first 2 books. The one thing I loved most about this one is there's a lot of flashbacks, or you learn a lot more about how Fenburn came to be Fenburn, and how the queens, and there's a lot of things about the island that's weird. There's this mist that covers the island and separates it from the outside world to kind of protect the land, and you learn more about that. And I think that's why I liked it. We got more substance in this book than just annoying sisters arguing but not actually doing anything. But that completely changes in this one. So I actually now recommend this series. Before I was on the fence, but now I would, because the payoff for me so far has been good. And I gave this a 3.5 because I gave our other 2 books 3, and this was worth a 3.5. Why I recommended a book that's not 4 stars? Well, because I am extremely stingy with what I give 4 stars to. It has to be amazing. And then 5 stars has to be phenomenal. I want to reread it straight away. So a 3.5 is a good rating for me, and it is good. Now, the last 3 are all the Rebecca F. Kuang books I read in a reading week, and that is Babel, The Poppy War, and Yellowface. And I mean, I've already made 2 videos on these 3 books, so I'm not going to stand here and just ramble about it. If you'd like to know my opinions, please watch my reading vlog. Even if you don't want to watch the reading vlog, I go into like why I like these books and the ratings I gave them near the end. So you can just skip to the end if you don't want to watch the reading vloggy bit. But wow, this is the first time I've ever read any of her books, and I am now a fan, and I'm so happy I am, because her next book, a new series, is coming out, I believe in May as well, or in August. Actually, no, it's in August. Let me check what it's called again. I don't even know what it's about properly. I know it's set in Cambridge. I think I like them as well because most of her books are set in England. Actually, one of them is. That was silly of me. Okay, Catabyss. Oh my god, how the hell do you even say that? This word. Catabyss, I think that says. Yeah, Catabasis? Oh god, I'm going to have to wait till someone pronounces that online. But yeah, 2 academic rivals from Cambridge must travel to hell to rescue the soul of their advisor. Getting there was easy, surviving it and each other is another thing entirely. It says fantasy, romance, mystery, mythology. Tick, 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 tick for me. Anyway, this isn't about that new book. This is about these books. These 2 are fantasy. Both have magical systems. They're both set in like... not fantasy lands, they're set in the real world. Actually, all 3 of them are, but these 2 are fantasy and magical, whereas this one is a literal fiction, a dark comedy. And they all talk about underlying issues, and have some dark meaning behind them, but amazing. I like this one the least, even though I really did like it. I gave it a 3.5, 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5, because if there's any book I'd recommend more than this one out of my whole year, it's this. This bad boy. It was amazing. It's hard to read. It's very complex. But if you can get through it, the ending, the payoff is phenomenal. I sobbed like a freaking baby when I finished this. I'll put all of the synopsises down in the description box in case you haven't watched those other videos. But yeah, I highly recommend all 3 of them. So, these books did excellent this month. 2 4.5s. I mean, come on. That's extremely rare for me. Please let me know if you've read them and your opinions, if you have already. Did you like them as much as me, or did you think they weren't that good? And let me know if you start to read them, because yeah, I want to talk about them because I love them. Anyway, my next video will be a manga video, and it's going to be about Yona of the Dawn. So if you are a manga lover and you read Yona of the Dawn, it will be about that. So I hope you look forward to it. Hope to see you in the next one, guys. Bye.